My name is Liz.
And I'm Strother.
And today we hope to enlighten you on the current events that are happening in Nepal.
It will be a landslide of information, a plate full of facts.
Okay, that was bad. Beware of the avalanche of information that is about to hit you.
All jokes aside, an average proportion of information is ahead.
Okay, that one was good. 7.3 rating.
But to get to the story.
You may have heard recently about the Nepal earthquake on April 25th.
At a 7.9 on the Richter scale, this was the biggest earthquake in the area since nearly 100 years ago in the 1930s. This is easily trackable by the constant pressure buildup in this area.
The earthquake first occurred in Pokhara and Kathmandu, but soon all of the cities surrounding it were affected because of the power, even Mount Everest. The trembling triggered an avalanche, and climbers atop of the mountain were quickly endangered. A second earthquake hit on May 12th with a magnitude of 7.3. The difference between the first earthquakes was the epicenter and the location. While both were bad, the first one was more powerful by 5.5 times.
In a mountainous country like Nepal, avalanches and landslides occur easily and on many occasions with their steep cliffs and tall rocky mountains. Also, outdated, inadequate buildings are vulnerable to these earthquakes, collapsing easily.
Many countries from around the world have sent relief help, including the United States, with the deployment of 12 Huey relief helicopters to the region, as well as 300 soldiers in Nepal and another 270 in Thailand, continuing recovery operations. With this came the crash of one of these helicopters. The helicopter went missing hours after the second earthquake, and the cause of the crash is still unknown.
The helicopter had been flying as part of the U.S.'s contribution to aid Nepal from the result of the first earthquake. The head of the U.S. task force in Nepal said it was unlikely for there to be any survivors from such a bad crash. It was suspected to be a fuel problem.
There were 6 Marines and 2 Nepali soldiers in the Huey. Now for the science behind this earthquake.
The Indian tectonic plate met the Asian plate 50 million years ago. The Indian plate dove and the Asian plate flew up, creating the Himalayas. These plates can move up to 2 inches in a year, creating huge pressures. A major earthquake in Nepal can be tracked back to about every 75 years. The last major earthquake was in 1934, as an 8.0 on the Richter scale. Nepal is a bad place for earthquakes because of their Lucerne mountains. These can translate into landslides really easily, as well as their snow-capped mountains, which can become avalanches. The villages worst hit were because of landslides, not the earthquake. It merely sparked a landslide. Similarly, on Mount Everest, a major tourist attraction for Nepal, the earthquake caused an avalanche, killing 18. This was in the wake of an avalanche a little more than a year ago, killing 16 Sherpas, native guides for the mountains. Treks have been suspended until further notice.
In 1934, there was a very similar earthquake to the one that happened recently. 81 years ago, 9.5 kilometers south of Mount Everest was the epicenter of an 8.0 earthquake. I can't say the 3 main town names because I butcher their names every time, so Strother is going to tell you them.
Kathmandu, Bhaktapar, and Patan
were the 3 main towns that were most affected during this time. The trembling was so severe that almost all of the buildings collapsed. In the aftermath, Mahatma Gandhi visited the Bihar state and said that he believed that the earthquake was a punishment from God for India not succeeding in ridding the caste system of the untouchables, or the lowest class system.
There were between 10,700 and 12,000 casualties.
There was another earthquake in August of 1988, although it wasn't as big as the one in 1934 or the one in 2015, but there were still 709 deaths. The magnitude was 6.9, and the epicenter of it was located on the border of Nepal and India.
Now for a little example on how earthquakes work. When tectonic plates meet, they either push up against each other, dive down, jump up, or shift sideways. It all depends on the area. For example, the Indian Asian plates. The Asian plate jumps up and the Indian plate dives down. When it happens, it creates mountain ranges. In this case, it created the Himalayas and our earthquake. Now for another example, the jumping example. Two plates meet, they push together, and they either jump up or down or left or right. This is the main type of earthquake commonly seen in California. The worst are when the plates are parallel and collide, but force up together as one and both jump in a sudden movement. This is the rarest but also most dangerous.
Now for the open letter.
Today's open letter is written to you. Do you feel special yet?
Dear viewers, in this letter today we are going to tell you how to survive an earthquake. According to www.wikihow.com, there are 3 ways to do it. If you are in a car, stop as quickly as you can, safely of course, and stay inside of it. Try to avoid trees, overpasses, and utility wires because if they fall on you, they will most likely crush you. The metal of your car will protect you from debris and other falling objects. But if you're in a garage, get out of your car, crouch down next to it, and start praying. Your car will not protect you from falling concrete, and survival mostly comes down to luck. Do not try to rush back home because most major earthquakes have aftershocks. And those usually should not be underestimated because they can bring down buildings that were previously damaged. After the earthquake has stopped, proceed cautiously and avoid bridges, roads, and ramps that may have been damaged during the earthquake. Now, just wait for help. It shouldn't take much time before people come with food, water, and supplies to provide for you. If you are in a building when the earthquake hits, steady yourself. Hold on to an object or get on the floor so you do not fall. Drop, cover, and hold are the national security standards for the earthquake safety in the U.S. Alternate advice is to get next to a piece of furniture so that if the wall falls, it doesn't crush you. It will create a space so that you can survive. Cover your head and neck using your hands to protect yourself from falling objects. Do not move. If it is safe for you to do so, stay where you are for a minute or two until you are sure that the shaking has stopped. Remember to beware of the aftershock because it can happen at any time. Then slowly and carefully leave the building. Check around the building, including windows or anything else that could be broken for damage. Now, if you are outdoors, stay where you are unless you're surrounded by buildings or other things that could possibly fall on you and potentially crush you. Don't attempt to run or drive away from an earthquake because it will only increase your injury risk. Seek shelter near a hill or a wide open area, so again, nothing falls and crushes you. Sincerely, Strother and Liz. Mostly Liz.
I hope you all know now how to survive an earthquake, because I certainly do.
Okay. Nepal doesn't only have earthquakes, they also have snow leopards and other cute animals that we love.
Now enjoy this cute but slightly discomforting picture of a snow leopard staring at you that will win a staring contest 9 times out of 10.
If you would like to make a donation to the Relief Fund and help the people of Nepal through this hard time, please click the link below. It will take you to the American Red Cross website. This is just one of many organizations lending a helping hand, but they need your support and donations to continue their efforts.
Thank you for watching.
Bye.
We'll see you later.
Will we though? Will we?